Alright, YouTube. Gonna try this again. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Tech Talk. My name's Patrick. Having a hard time getting anything to work today, so we're gonna do another take here. Hopefully this is the one that works. We're gonna be talking about CES. Really wasn't impressed with it, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about some things that did interest me. So ABC News knows absolutely nothing about technology. They're definitely not a source for tech news, but they show a couple things here. This thing called roller walkers, which is wearable transportation. If you're a girl and you have high heels and you love roller skates, you can just step into these roller skates. They're battery operated, and you can walk as fast as 7 miles an hour. Another little thing, Skechers has put the game Simon into a kid's shoe, which, I don't know, I feel that's been done before. And no kids sit cross-legged kind of like adults do, with one leg up. So I feel like this is just something to entertain your kids besides them stealing your phone and playing a whole bunch of games. This is so your kid sitting at the doctor's office can take off his stinky shoe and play some Simon until the thing gets wet or something and this speaker inherently, doesn't work anymore. Sony presented their new Walkman, which costs way too much money, and there are some better options that are out there for hi-fi media players. But Sony obviously gets a little bit of recognition because they've been in the news lately for their whole hacking scandal. Engadget is still live streaming from CES, which is weird because CES was only from January 6th to 9th, and today is the 11th down here, and they're just still hanging out there. So some cool things. Cars definitely took over a lot of the CES market. We'll get into that a little bit. Sling TV, Dish's Sling TV, if you're familiar with Sling players. It's a device relatively inexpensive. It's a device that connects to a cable box, one single cable box, and provided that you have a very, very strong internet connection, it captures what's going through that cable box, kind of like an output. Video and sound go out of the cable box into the Sling player, and the Sling player is connected to the internet, and it broadcasts that cable box on the internet for anybody to just log in and use it. Unfortunately, they're very laggy. You really have to have a pretty strong internet connection, and even still, there's some issues with it. But Dish TV is trying to incorporate that and utilize it in their products. I'm going to grab a little bit of my coffee. It is freezing up here, and I am tired. So if you live somewhere warm, good to you, because it is cold up here. All right, so Razer Forge TV. This is a product that I'll probably be picking up. Really, really interesting. Last year, Razer kind of tried to invade our living room. Not really tried, but said that they were going to. And a year later, this is what they came up with. So very, very bland-looking Apple TV-esque box with a cool little LED underlight here. It runs Android TV and Google Cast, which is super awesome. So apparently, Razer Forge TV was built to bring hardcore gaming and entertainment to the big screen. Next level Android gaming. Because Android gaming, honestly, hasn't really caught on. So here's what the controller looks like. Pretty cool. Obviously, resembles every other controller in the world. That's Xbox 360 related. But I think Razer does controllers very well. Other peripherals like keyboards and mice, I'm not a huge fan of. Why? Because they have a lot of wired mice. And I think wired mice, in terms of gaming, aren't that great. I think for the same price you can get wireless, almost better DPI or CPI. Really, with today's technology, there's no real reason to have a response time for a wireless mouse. A wireless and a wired gaming mouse almost have the exact same response times. But the specs in here are just about the same. Quad-core processor, dual-band wireless AC and gigabit Ethernet, which are pretty impressive specs. Got a couple games that they recommend already. Modern Combat 5, Asphalt, can obviously do local multiplayer games. And they got this dude with his cute little girlfriend over here and two of his buddies. They have a little commercial with the girl in it. The girl is one of those ditzy little blondes that knows absolutely nothing. She can barely hold the controller in her hand correctly. So the controller is called Serval, S-E-R-V-A-L. Pretty interesting controller. Also works with Bluetooth to communicate with a phone. So it has a little clip here that's built in that you can flip up, attach your phone to, and then use it for mobile gaming. Next, Razer has this Cortex Stream that's built in. It's kind of popular. NVIDIA and their Shield does this. If you have a compatible many $100 graphics card and a very expensive business class internet connection, you can play a game like Borderlands, the pre-sequel, like they have mentioned here. Play it on your PC, start the game on your PC, let your home PC or bedroom, they call it bedroom PC, or living in my mom's basement PC, and let that do all the graphics crunching. Let your very fast internet connection stream all of that to the Razer Forge TV, where you can play that game there. So, but I really don't think too many people do that or really take advantage of it, just because of how difficult it is to get all of that stuff working at once. So I think that's a little bit out of the way just yet. It also comes with, but an optional accessory, the Razer Turret, living room gaming mouse and lap board. So over here, he's got a mouse and a mouse pad, and over here he's got this chintzy looking kind of keyboard. I was kind of impressed with this because if you can stream games and you do that, or you just like having kind of a media center keyboard for navigating the Razer Forge TV, that's kind of nice. But when I was watching a video on it, right here in the middle, this keyboard actually bends in half so that you can store it in this charging dock vertically and use it that way. Well, unfortunately, that crease in the middle there that allows it to fold also makes it extremely flimsy. It looks very sturdy in this position, but it seems like it's always tilted in or tilted out at an odd angle, which would make that difficult to use. So lots of apps. Google Cast Ready, which is a wonderful feature. I think Chromecast has been kicking butt in the market so far, so I'm glad that that's built in. It comes with a little app for voice search. Who knows how well that works. It's got a couple buttons that you can use. I don't know how much effort they put into it, but it's a nice little thing to have. So it runs Android 5.0 Lollipop. I'm very impressed with that. Has the same operating system as the Nexus player. Now, if you've seen a Nexus player, they've kind of copycatted off of Amazon Fire's GUI and Apple TV's GUI, because that's direct competition. They kind of took those two GUIs and kind of smashed it together in one to really compete. But I don't know how many people even like this video, actually. Like this video if you have a Nexus player. I want to know how many people have one. Qualcomm Snapdragon 805, 2.5 gigahertz quad core, very nice spec. The Adreno 420 GPU, good enough. There are some better options out there, but for the price point, it's good. 16 gigs of storage, that's great, but it'd be nice to have like 32 gigs. I feel like 16 you'll run out. Of course, no micro SD storage expansion. Maybe you can do some storage expansion with the USB 3.0 port. 3.0 I'm impressed with. All the other specs I'm impressed with, just not the 16 gigs of storage. Here's some pictures of it. That's the back. You've got your power in, HDMI, gigabit Ethernet, and your USB 3.0. So for the box, just the box itself, $99, which is okay, competitive. But to control the box, I assume it comes with a little remote, but the controller is $80. But, which is pretty expensive for a controller. But if you buy this bundle here together, it's $150. And then you've got the turret keyboard mouse combo. I think that's another $80. So pretty interesting. I'll probably wind up picking one up. Next, we've got HP and their Stream Mini. Now, if you're familiar with HP and their Stream products, Google and their Chrome boxes and Chromebooks have been killing it in the market lately. Sub $200 product, pretty good internal components, very lightweight and friendly operating system. It has its limitations, but if you're a basic tech user, then it's very good. I have one sitting in front of me right now, and it's wonderful. So the HP Stream Mini, everybody saw it coming. HP already has a Stream 7 tablet, which is pretty good. $100 Windows tablet, very good. Excuse me. They also have Stream 11 and Stream 13 laptops to compete with the Google Chromebook series. And now to complete that repertoire, they have the Stream Mini desktop, which is exactly like a Chromebox. If mine wasn't running something right now, I'd unplug it and show you exactly how identical it is. The ports are all in the same exact orientation. Power button's in the same spot. You've got two more USB ports on the back, Ethernet, power, HDMI display port, and a headphone microphone combo jack. It's all in the exact same location. My video's still not working. That's horrible. This is why we're doing a second take right here. You've got 32 gigs of solid state storage. That's the only thing I think the spec that's a little bit different. But Intel Celeron, 2 gigs of RAM, 4 USB 3.0 ports, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's basically the exact same thing as a Chrome box. That HP also manufactures one of those. They just stuck Windows on it and designed it a little bit different with its very bright colors like these Stream devices do. So that'll be sub $200. That's coming up here in a little while. But, you know, might be something to pick up. It's nice that Windows has finally stepped up to the plate and started to compete in this market, but I think they might be just a little bit too late to start taking the demand away from Chromebox users. This, in my opinion, is what won CES for me. This is the Intel Compute Stick. And let me go to here. This is a little bit better picture. Little HDMI dongle. We're pretty familiar with some of these. Android has 1,000,001 of these, and they plug into an HDMI port. If you have an MHL port on your TV, which is HDMI, but it's the MHL HDMI port, which allows this device to be powered strictly from an HDMI port. The Android ones are okay, a lot of them exist, but they're cheap, specs aren't fantastic, and it's a little bit limiting. Now that Windows has finally come out with a 8.1, pretty lightweight, easy to run operating system, they can start getting smaller and smaller products. This stick here, plug it into your TV, it has full-blown Windows 8.1 on it. Inside this little thing, it has a 1.33 gigahertz Intel Atom quad-core processor. 1.3 gigahertz is not impressive, but quad-core is. 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gig solid state storage, does have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and a full-size USB port and micro SD on the other side of the device, not pictured here, for storage expansion. So really great if you're a businessman or something like that. As they market it over here, you just have this in your pocket. You don't have to carry this briefcase around with a laptop and all these different cords to, you know, still use archaic VGA because every conference room somehow does not have a wireless display connection solution, or HDMI at least. So you got to carry all these other cables and this, that, and the other thing. Or you do have a tablet and you're lucky enough to go into a place that has a wireless display solution. But I think this is the best. Most displays, you got TVs or a projector or something that has HDMI port. You plug this thing in, boot your operating system in seconds with the built-in SSD. The one USB 2.0 port on there is just used for keyboard mouse combination piece, or maybe just a mouse to get your presentation up and running. But also, if grandma doesn't want to buy a brand new computer and all this stuff, you buy her that. $150. Price point is outstanding. And you plug it into her TV, and away she goes, and she can do what she needs to do. I think it's really opens the gateway for where we're headed in desktop PCs. Obviously, desktop PCs are starting to get away from these big bulky machines and into a small desktop like this, that can fit in your hand, rather than you have to lug this thing and then two-arm carry it. wherever you may go. So I think it's really getting interesting as to this is the direction that PCs are heading. I think they'll pack more and more power into it, especially in the graphics department a little later on. And then after that, I think everything will be this very, very simple stick that's powered by itself through the MHL port. You have, I'm sure if you need more than one USB port, you can plug in a little bit of a hub. It's Windows 8. It'll install whatever driver you need. And you can plug, a keyboard, a mouse, a printer if you need a printer. But everybody has wireless printers nowadays. You should be able to just print wirelessly from it. And then maybe like a webcam or something. So really, really endless possibilities. I love the portability of that. That is definitely something that I will probably be picking up. BMW, while I'm at it, I'll mention this. The BMW team really did a pretty darn good job at CES. They have some interesting products. They got a lot of different charging stations, and the i8 is absolutely beautiful, but way too expensive, and nobody in the world is going to be able to afford the thing. So you've got the i8, it's electric, gas hybrid, it charges with this futuristic little home charger, which is cool. They talk about this inductive charging, which is kind of like wireless Qi charging that we talk about. So you drive over this pad, and the pad, is embedded in your garage or something like that, and you just drive over it and it automatically starts charging your battery. Which is very, very cool. Then they've got these laser lights that are you can't even use them in the United States just yet. It's still illegal to do so. But these laser lights are sophisticated enough to be able to be ultra bright. But when a car is coming at you in the opposite direction, it will work in a way that it takes away that portion of the headlight, so it's not blinding the guy, but you don't have to turn the lights out of the brightness mode. So very intelligent lights. These rear lights that are over here can obviously do a whole bunch of different animations. They use OLED technology. They can be different colors and things like that. But I think it's pretty useless technology as of yet. You've got a lot of different gestures that you can do now that comes with a tablet, so your guy in the back seat can turn your heated seat on or mess with you and move the seat forward and backward. This is the remote here, which is kind of a cool key fob that allows you to see how BMW is charging and how much gas or power you have left, and to see if your doors are unlocked or locked not. That's pretty futuristic. This is kind of their i3 car, a little bit smaller. Parks itself. You can try to run into something with it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Yeah, like this guy. His foot is slammed on the brake. Not the brake, but the gas, and he's trying to run into that thing, but it won't let him run into it, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's like, does my car drive itself, or do I drive it? There's really no in between. I don't want to be able to, I don't want to have to have all this technology in it preventing you from doing what I want to do with the car. I want to have control over the car, or none at all. And then this is a little bit interesting. He's got a Samsung smartwatch here. Represent. It hits the button, says pick me up. Car automatically starts itself. Has the GPS location of the car and then of the watch, and then comes and picks you up. But it's very, very slow. Look how slow this thing is going. It is just crawling towards you. Look how slow that thing's going around the corner. It's like, here comes my slow car to come pick me up. Honestly, you could walk to the car faster than it could come pick you up. And it has a pre-planned course. So I don't know how that's going to work in real world, in the streets of New York City or something like that, where it's parallel park. Unparallel park yourself, then wait for a gap. Does it wait for a gap, and does it look in its mirror to make sure that nobody else is coming so that it can sneak out? So I don't really think that's entirely practical just yet. CES, I was kind of embarrassed, to be honest. I'm not embarrassed that I didn't go or anything like that, because nobody really came to the table. Nobody really showed us anything that was groundbreaking. There are a couple very cool products, things that I might pick up. But BMW, the technology, the lighting is not even allowed in the United States yet. It's cool.
But once it
finally does come out, you'll never be able to afford the car anyway. BMW and all their smart stuff, those cars are six-figure cars right now. And in 10 years, you'll still barely afford it when the technology is finally consumer ready. So I think it's a good glimpse into the future, but unfortunately pretty useless. Not practical just yet. I think CES is a very unpractical place. 8K TVs, for example. Lots of 8K TVs were there. Obviously, I didn't mention them here because this is not new technology that I would be interested in because they've done this before. 8K TVs have been in the last 2 CESs. There are less than 10 manufacturers that make a camera that can even capture 8K. And there's so few content pieces for 8K that most companies have to even hire people to go out and spend, millions of dollars to even make 8K content. So it's just completely unpractical yet. But, somebody out there will spend the $100,000 to buy the 50-inch TV. So also one thing I don't like about CES is everything that was shown, all the stuff that I had showed you, and all the other cool stuff will not be available for a very long time. People bring all this cool technology there. Everybody's like, oh, take my money, I want this now. And none of it's even available. You can't buy it right now. You can't buy it for the next couple months. Intel's Compute Stick is the only thing that you can buy coming up in March. And right now it's January. Razer Forge TV, that doesn't come out until the end of the year, maybe early next year. It's still in its beta phase. The Stream PCs, they don't take pre-orders until summer. A lot of other, so it's pretty embarrassing. That's why a lot of large companies, the real big hitters like Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and some others, wait until, NVIDIA or AMD, they all wait until they have their own event or showcase or whatnot to unveil their products. They do it right. They show you this futuristic product, and they get you all hyped up about it, and they send out the invites, and you know about it weeks in advance, and then you get there, and they unveil this awesome product, and they either take pre-orders when the presentation is over, or it's released when the presentation is over. Good example, Amazon Fire TV last year, even though that thing sucked. So I'm kind of embarrassed that they wave all this fancy technology in front of us, and it really was nothing really was too fantastic this year, but they wave all this in front of our face, and they're like, yep, good luck getting it until, next year or after that or something else like that. So a little embarrassed. CES wasn't a huge loss, obviously, because there's some cool products that are out there. But let me know what you think. Please leave in the comments something. If I missed something, if there's something else that was cool that you thought was fantastic, or a product that you're definitely going to be pre-ordering or keeping an eye on, leave that in the comments. I definitely want to do these Tech Talks to start up conversation. I like talking with you guys, and I like when you guys get in there and leave comments. So like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, be honest. Make sure to leave those questions and comments in the section below. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be doing a lot more of these Tech Talks if I can ever get this software to work. I think this is like the 3rd time. I've done 3 takes of this already. I've been trying to do more of these, and then either something happens with the file save, or I can't upload it, or I go to review it and all the audio is all jacked up on it. So I'll try to get more of these out as I can. So thanks for watching, guys. This is definitely a little bit of a longer video. But stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.